We don't care how it went. We did a show in Norway. The fuck?
Yeah. Still flipping, still tipping like I'm Mike Jones. I'm fucking up this MacBook shit. I'm on my Spike Jones. Sign off on $1 million deal. Off this iPhone, then call my.
Well, we're from a small town in California, like a small area, Antioch, Oakley, Brentwood, 925. People don't go to Europe from where we're from. You know what I mean? Like, maybe rich people go on vacation and shit, but like people like us don't go to Europe for anything that has to do with like a career, you know? So this is crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, I also work with the festival and had some headache when it comes to rappers canceling and stuff like that. And the reasons that come back again and back and again, that's visa problems, not having a passport. That's why Ski Mask didn't show up. He didn't have a passport. And so it seems like, and I also read that like 70% of Americans don't have a passport.
Did you have a passport?
I had one when I was like 12 and it expired like years ago.
I literally got my first passport like a couple months before we came.
Yeah,
like along with like most of the squad. Did you have a passport?
Yeah.
But yeah, like a lot of us just got our passports for this.
That had to be a milestone, though.
100%, dog. It's just crazy. We've had the craziest last 2 years. You know, we went from not going anywhere and not leaving our hometown to like, you know, going across the country and going overseas. So.
And you guys just went on a tour with Pusha as well.
Yeah.
That had to be crazy.
Yeah. A lot of old heads, a lot of old
like
dudes.
me?
Nah, way older. Nah, come on.
Thanks for saying that, but okay. I'll pay you afterwards. What did you learn from being on tour with an artist like Pusha in terms of live music, shows? Or did you just do your thing?
I feel like in most of our performances that we've done before Push, it was for a group that we kind of spoke to on a level, like they related to us a little bit more. And so with Push, like having that older crowd, it was like a bit of a shock because a lot of people don't like jump up and down.
They don't
like
understand the word lit. They don't
get it. Like, so you can't like do all the same shit. So it's like we learned a lot of like how to adapt for a different crowd. Like not everybody's gonna fuck with you. Sometimes people are even gonna like say shit. You know, you gotta just take it aside, take it to the chin.
That's what separates a good live artist, if you can handle. And also with festivals, like not everyone here is to see you. Obviously, there's a lot of band, so you have to like speak to a lot of people at the same time. Even though it seemed like there was a couple of cores at the festival, and it's young people, so
we just learned through that experience that, you know, you just got to try to gain fans, no matter if you get like, you know, 2 or if you win over the whole crowd, which doesn't happen all the time. You know, you just like, if 2 people leave there and they're like, damn, I had never heard of them, but they're dope. Then you did what you had to do. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of what we're doing out here.
Plus, often, if it's fewer in the crowd or a bad crowd and you do a good job, that's when you get fans for life. That's when you turn people.
Yeah, I hope they appreciate me in the mosh pit, jumping around with them, because that was risky, but whatever, sent it.
You gotta believe for the brand. Like something that speaks to me when it comes to your music is like, first of all, it's a good package. It's like a whole identity, which I love. But also like the appreciation for rap and for music, that kind of transcend ages and demographics, if it's Europe, if it's the States.
We're just music lovers, we're music appreciators, and like we have there's a lot of seriousness as far as, you know, doing your homework with us, you know, like understanding what came before you and like respecting it and being in this game to add something to it, you know what I mean? Like that's what we want to do. We don't want to just exist and be a blip. Like we want to leave a mark and, you know, do something like that. So we're building, and it's still early, but that's the mission, you know what I mean?
I gotta admit that I often I appreciate the done your homework, love music, that whole part, but I also love the fuck you, you're old. So a fine balance is always the best. Like I really like when it's like rebel music, but at the same time pay homage and to the craft.
I think that's the AG way for sure. Everything's fuck you, a little bit.
I can remember being that age, so obviously that's a part of the game. But let's talk about your brand and imaging, because there's not that many bands where I can have that conversation. Like, how do you guys go about like creating? Like, I understand that the start was organic, but at some point, it becomes your image. You're supposed to be the ones that into fashion, videography, music. I saw an interview talking about making clay figures. Like, that becomes your thing. Like, how do you still keep on being creative and keep on doing that path without being forced?
Well, it doesn't always come easy, I'll say that. But, you know, it's like one of those things where if you just keep hacking the axe at a tree, it's going to fall down. So, you know, that's something that I learned. But we got the Cash Boys. You know, they're always inspired, it seems like. Even if they're not, it's like they're always making something. They do a lot of spray paint. They do the what's it called? Claymation, how you said. Like, yeah.
Just keeping creative homies around you and just keeping everything fun. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it's all about. Like, no matter what happens and no matter how big we get, you know, that's always been our thing. It's just like, you know, do it like we're still at home in the garage. You know what I mean? Like, just have fun and just enjoy what we're creating. Don't let the pressure get to your head. Like, it's not something that we just knew. It took us learning and it took us like feeling like we were crashing and burning. But I think now we're at that point where we understand that, you know, like, just gotta keep it cash.
We started the interview talking about like that appreciation for being in Europe, going on tour, being where you at. That is really hard to have that, to keep that emotion, but it's still, that's the part that makes me like your music, make me like appreciate the videos, the vibe of it. So mission completed. I gotta say, but when it comes to like social media, because that's the worst part of keeping what we just talked about, and like reading comment section, having to deal with the internet, and maybe because we tend to forget that the world is a real place, that today the people in the crowd, that's who you're making music for. It's so easy to get caught in what the internet feels about things. And how do you guys like?
I fucking hate the internet, but it's like, you know, we need it. And, you know, it's like exactly how you said, we kind of started our shit during COVID, so everything was locked down, and all we seen was numbers on the screen. Yeah. So seeing shit like this happen, like seeing people like vibe out to your shit in person, it changes like everything.
But like, we just trying to keep doing shows because like this is what keeps your head out your ass when it comes to this shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, doing shows and making real connections with people, it's like that's kind of where our focus needs to be. So it's like it makes it easier to just be like, fuck Instagram. Like, I don't care about those comments. I don't care about these tweets. Like, you know, it still bothers you, but like knowing that, I mean, we come from a small town, you know what I mean? And we're used to people hating on our
small
shit.
Small town is, you know? Like the internet.
Exactly. We're used to people hating on our shit, calling us corny, whatever, trying to talk shit. Yeah. But it's like, bro, you know, we're in Europe now. Yeah. And like those people who we're talking about that shit from our hometown are still in our hometown. So it's like we just treat the whole internet like that. It's like, you know, like, I don't know, when we weren't where we're at now, we weren't sitting on the internet hating on people. We were working. So it's like, we just going to continue to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Being on tour, like, okay, this is your first European tour and you mostly toured the States, so it's kind of a hard question, but how do you get to see the places you visit? Do you take the time to like, okay, I'm here taking some local music? Or
everywhere that we've been kind of making a point to go out, you know, like, and do things. Like, we have the Cash Boys with us who are our homies, and they brought all their skateboards, so they've been just going and skating like every single country that we stop in. And we've been going out to like, you know, try to hit a bar or two, you know, like hit some clubs, or just like go where all the people are at and like soak up the culture. And it's really crazy. Like, it's a real shock. Like, it's blowing our minds because, you know, like, we're from America and we haven't even seen all of America yet, you know? So to be in like Belgium and seeing how people operate there, you know, like how they, I think something that's really cool, this is kind of off topic, but something that's really cool is like the energy towards like street performers out here. Because we have like street performers in LA and stuff like that, but like, I don't know, we were in Belgium and it was like there's this girl playing with like a soccer ball and they were like 100, like 200 people like circling her, watching her.
Yeah.
And that shit was just hella crazy to me because it's just like, I don't know, everybody's just present.
I gotta say, that's usually in the tourist season.
Yeah.
When all the people from the small
they getting
towns
their
are in
bread?
the big
Oh, yeah,
city
yeah,
and
yeah.
everything is
Everybody's
exciting.
like us. Everybody's just like, oh, that's
It's
crazy.
like Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah.
It's exciting because there's nothing of that back home.
Yeah.
Obviously, in like being from Europe, like our vision of the States is that's a big ass country that elects crazy presidents and crazy abortion laws.
Yeah. Hey,
like we have like really bad emotions towards Americans and like automatically thinks a lot of crazy stuff about Americans. So obviously you've got to notice when you're in Europe, like, oh fuck, it's the Americans again.
Well, yeah, like everywhere we've gone, it's kind of just been like that. And like, when we were in Reims in France, we were trying to go out to the bars.
But the French is the worst, but you can go.
Well, yeah, we were trying to go out to the bars, and like literally 2 of the bars like just completely shut us down at the door. One of them said no Americans.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, like, I don't know, dude. Like, we know how shitty it is there, so it's like we can't even take it personal. We're just like, yeah, I get it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know me from Joe, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
if you don't fuck with me because I'm American, it's all right. You know, I understand.
I wanted to show you some local rap, some Scandinavian rap.
Yeah.
Just to put you on some
Hey,
local
let's get
culture.
it. Hell yeah.
And make this interview a bit more fun.
Yeah.
Yo, broski henta nettopp ny klassika ut
Oh yeah. They would get posted on the what are they from? Where are they from? They would get posted on the Norwegian Thizzler for sure, yeah. Like they on their version on the bar train right now.
Hell yeah.
Vakreste venninnene på vei til oss, bro. Berndå snart full av hose. Strike up pose. Vil du ha coke? Ta dine clothes. Skvetter som en mus når jeg hører lyden av grus. Drikker bare øl og vann med lever for brus. Vil du ha snus? Her tar deg 2. For jeg henger ut med crew, du vet hva det går i, bror. Min venn han er blod. Liten skype ut etter hevn. Stemningen er heit, men jeg er cool. Ikke mange som vet har det gjemt i en bod. Det er ikke leik, har en breit.
I wonder if their homies are doing these videos.
Mer skate med en plate i hver vår hånd.
Like, that's for real.
That's what I'm saying, like
Snuten vil ha oss, vi hos hver vår dom. Hver vår dom. For vi er 2 kiss i Tora mer skate med en plate i hver vår. Det har seg sånn. At snuten vil ta oss i hos hver vår dom. Hver vår dom. Jeg kjenner blodet mitt boble. Vi er 2 nakne kropper. Treffer helt tonen og kobler. Vi spiser magiske sopper. Hun står på gulvet og danser. Jeg åpner shop som en lanker. En kompis lever for sjanser. Sitter i sofaen med panser. Jo, det er krevende å alltid være på stedene hvor de putter det i nesen. Hører biten ifra skjevene. Glemt å svare brevene. Jeg er alltid svevende. Ta og knytt nevene. Bli med og føl deg levende. Jeg tar det ut av en pose og bare sprer det på bordet. Setter bikken i låsen og bare knekker den koden.
this is really like some Thizzler shit, you know? Like, they would slide on there.
Jeg tror jeg faller ned blåsen, jeg mistet nøkkerne.
fuck with them, bro. I fuck with them.
Dirk opp blåsningen på WhatsApp. Jeg så lillefetter ta sine første skritt. Jeg tenkte shit, jeg må kjøpe han noe første kicks. Jeg bare henger rundt i gata med noen homies og tar livet for gitt. Sitter på en trikk i lange blikk til chicks. Jeg tok i Meyers gate med en plate i hver vår hånd. Gjort litt av hvert og det har seg sånn. At snuten vil ha oss, vi hos hver vår dom. Hver vår dom, for vi er 2 kiss i Tora Meyers gate med en plate i hver vår hånd. Gjort litt av hvert og det har seg sånn. At snuten vil ta oss i hos hver vår dom. Hver vår dom.
I was insane.
Yeah, I fuck with them. I like them. I don't know.
Nah, I dig it. I mean, it's funny when we were in Amsterdam, we were talking about, you know, different cultures of rap and whatnot. Like, you know, oh, who's popping in Amsterdam? Who's popping in Norway? And like, it's so cool that there's so many different. You know, there's people over here who have no fucking clue who we are, but fucking love these guys. And like, that's the coolest thing to me is you know, there's just completely different cultures everywhere, but it's all sort of within the same vein of music, you know? So
I like that because I feel like I don't know them and I didn't really understand what they were saying, but I feel like just off the feel of it, they have like a strong sense of what it is that they're doing. Like they know that like they're cool. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they know it. Just like off the mannerisms, just like the way that they were like, you know, like the way they hold themselves, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That just was hard. And there's like a publication back in the Bay. It's called Thizzler. And they like post like a bunch of rappers and stuff. And I feel like Thizzler would post them if like we were in Norway and like everybody in the comments would be like, ah, this fire, this fire.
They was having fun with it.
Yeah, for real, for real.
Love the silhouette.
Han cloud chaser, han a real nigga. 9mm stainless steel nigga. Gon' pull up on your block. Smatra, yeah, det helt hot. Chilla, aldrig mentat. Sätt dig ner, chilla. Man, baby. Såklart det är farligt om hon chillar med en upp. För jag svär att det går fort när de dyker upp i din port. Svär att nyheten blir stort, ut och stor i din och den bitch ass nigga. Sluta lägga din fucking jag skiter i om jag är poppis. Poppar över din kompis. Det står $12 i prakten. Stashade 10 kassar i backen. Har en shura, han saknar papper. Han kommer dra dig i nacken. Ligger i busken i natten. Stashar gunnen i trappen. Gunnen är sah, like dina hatuti. Skötan tyckte det var roligt. Alla ni dyker upp och alla ni faller. Rätt för galler. Skulle köra man mot man, men man är bara ens mannen.
That role, you know, like that happens just from speaking that language. That's a cheat code, bro. Because anything sound good when you got the like that just sounds fine.
Små barn ser de vill vara som mig. Like jag hatar mitt liv. Om jag faller då jag släpper keys. Tackar ändå Gud för musiken. Varit lite för impulsiv sen jag varit liten. Du tar trappan upp till toppen medans jag går tar hissen. Kedjan gör så jag lyser.
That would be a backwood in America.
Bro, yeah.
Fryser jag är cold baby. Hellre ligger 6 meter under marken än att sälja min soul baby. Var tvungen att ljuga för mamma, det var till jag som sköt. Jag visste nog inte min broder när jag går och knackar på hennes dörr. Har blivit störd, hon vet jag kommer aldrig bli som förr. Har blivit störd, jag har blivit helt fucked up. Jag brände så mycket agos, jag började bränna bort känslorna. Kände ingenting när vi gick in i de här villorna. Sena nätter i källarna, det sena nätter i skogarna. Ibland jag önskar bara jag var död.
That was dope. That was dope. The visuals on 100.
That's a cheat code, bro. I don't know, just like the way that it comes from like the throat when you're like the like in his voice, and like, you know, just because of the language, like it just sounds so cool. Like people try to imitate that, like, you know, that's why people in their music be like but like it just happens like naturally when he's talking, and that shit just sounds so hard.
I mean, it's interesting how far the drill beat has gone. And you know, I don't even know if we started that. I think Chicago is
that's
like
Chicago,
the, you know,
sure. Yeah.
But I mean that seems like the popular style out here now. You know, like we just saw Central C right before we went on, and that's like all his music. You know, that's the beat is that drill beat. So it's cool to see it like spread, you know, across the world. Damn, they got the horse in the video.
And the shiesty.
The Miklo. Som man laver min læse på. Man helt wavy, Nike ikke en enkelt.
Oh, they're getting steady.
De kender godt, nu vil de alt sammen hænge med os. Det var de længere om, hos vi ikke engang tjene på os. Vi venter om, som man laver min.
This would be on Thizzler too.
Man helt wavy, Nike ikke en enkelt for. De kender godt, nu vil de alt sammen hænge med os. Det var de længere om, hos vi ikke engang tjene på os. Vi venter om, Toaster fylder man sæk med bønner, det ligner en English breakfast. Holdet er fyldt med kapers.
The English breakfast. I'm not. I am the breakfast.
De sur, men da de så Miklo, bliver det lidt ekstra. Men forstår dem godt. Jeg kom ud af det blå, de har prøvet hele livet, og de nærmer sig dårligt nok. Hold da op, skørt. Kør båden, baby, kør båden. Hun vil bare gerne leve, før hun dør. Skørt. Kør båden, baby, kør båden. Når hun kører på den, som en chauffør. Hun vil knappe ind i bilen, hun er blot træt af selv. De der baller kalder ligesom Ruby Rose. De svinger sig nu, når jeg svinger min skøn. Svår gør en bølsom, som har lavet min læse på. Man helt wavy, nej giver ikke en enkelt fuck. De kender godt, nu vil de alle sammen hænge med os. Det var de længe om, hos vi ikke engang tjene på os. Vi vendte om, som at lave min læsebom. Man helt wavy, nej giver ikke en enkelt fuck. De kender godt, nu vil de alle sammen hænge med os. Det var de længe om, hos vi ikke engang tjene på os. Vi vendte om. Livsbilen den er langt mere end bare hobby. Se bilen glider, jeg svinger rundt med en styk ligesom det er hockey. Mine nigger elsker at knøbe folk, og nu siger de han er blevet slutty. Man svinger svært for at separere mans kropstil ligesom buggy. Ind i bilen ligesom Kennedy, ser 2 shot og blev skudt i hovedet. Pladset lost i en boks, nu er jeg inde i boksen i studio. Monster, det bliver sluppet løs, når jeg spiller kortene som Yu-Gi-Oh! Hennesien, den er godt fat, nu er jeg swerving, det er i boogie mode. Boogie woogie, bare fylder juicen op, har det super godt, med en booty nok. Baby, brug din krop, så lidt Gucci op. Gik fra Gucci dot til min super slut, har en shooter også, klar til boom dem op. Boom, 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 så man er min læsebom. Man er helt wavy,
That's what I'm saying, those sticks.
De kender godt, nu vil de
real glicks.
Det var de længe om, hos vi ikke engang tjene på os. Vi vendte om, så man laver min læsebom. Man er helt wavy, nej giver ikke en enkelt fuck. De kender godt, nu vil de alle sammen hænge med os. Det var de længe om, hos vi ikke engang tjene på os. Vi vendte om.
I don't know if I love that one, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I dug it. Look, you got a wide sampler of what goes on out here. You got girls shaking ass, you got beans on toast, and you got knives, big knives. So I dug it.
I liked it. I like the flow of the song. I only looked at the butts for educational purposes, but it was cool. Right? It was cool.
I feel like part of what inspired us to start making music is the fact that, you know, like I was talking about Thizzler earlier, and when we like first started making music, they were posting stuff and it was just like everyone was making the same type of shit, you know? And one of the big things about it was the videos. Like we have this thing that we talk about where it's like we don't want to make Airbnb videos, which is like pretty much what the average rapper will do out there is they get an Airbnb, you know, they get all their homies there, they get the weed, they get the guns, they get the money, they get the girls shaking ass, and that's the video. And that's like the video for every single song, you know what I mean? And so it's like, I don't know, when I see like those types of videos, like I don't hate it, but I'm always just like, you know, like I love the first video with the kids, like the younger dudes, because they were just having fun, and that shit was so real, you know what I mean? Because it's like, my thing is, bro, you're not with them girls all the time. You hired them girls, you know? I don't know. That's just my take. I ain't trying to hate. I ain't trying to hate. I'm just trying to be real, keep it G.
The second one was my favorite, but, you know, 1 and 3 were cool as well. But number 2, I would say.
I just love the shots. The shots were all really creative, and it framed up the shit really well.
I love that first one. I love that first one because they had so much swag. Like, I just feel like, I don't know, they were just so cool. And it's just like you could see it in their face and in their demeanor that they know that they're hella cool. Like, it's like they're going back and forth and they're just like, yeah. Like, they're so hyped. That shit was so fire. It just felt so fucking real. I loved it.
Liten skipet ute etter hevn. Stemningen er heit, men jeg cool. Ikke mange som veit har det gjemt i en bod. Er ikke leik, har en breit. Fuck hva vi tror. Kids i 2 Amers gate med en plate i hver vår hånd. Gjort litt av hvert, og det har seg sånn. At snuten vil ha oss, vi hos hver vår dom. Hver vår dom, for vi 2 kids i 2 Amers gate med en plate.